Good morning, everybody. It's Lindsay Hellison with SPS. Forgive me if you see a little delay. We're working on that. Uh, about 40 seconds in. Good morning, Michelle. Happy belated birthday. I saw the birthday celebration fit for a queen, transformation of the house into a beautiful place, and all your sorors driving up, being appropriately socially distant to celebrate your birthday. That's an awesome thing. I love birthdays. The picture I posted was you guys supported me for my birthday a few years ago, so I'm glad you were able to enjoy yours even amongst the global pandemic. It seems that people with the right attitude on the right page still can find happiness and success no matter what. And I guess, Michelle, we can kind of use your birthday and the celebration you had as a similar talking point to what we have going on. What is today's Monday motivation, guys? Is your adjustment to your goals is not an abandonment of your goals. No, that's a mouthful, but I thought it was really important I stay on that point. I would say ever since last week, I had this topic in my head. I want to credit Coach Tom Izzo for helping me see that. As many of you guys know, I cover Michigan State football and basketball with media credentials. I'm very fortunate to do that. I think I'm in a very unique position, not only in this state of Michigan media core, but just throughout the country as someone who focuses on media based on sports psychology perspective, mental toughness, and mental health. So the long-standing relationship I've had with Coach Tom Izzo, we talk about these things, and I'm always laughing. We're always laughing in the press conferences because while people may be talking about X's and O's, we're always talking about the mental aspect. And I remember in the last week press conference, post Duke, after he was able to be successful, Michigan State was able to be successful and win in Cameron Indoor Stadium, which is something Tom Izzo has never done. We joked about just coaching millennials. But it's really about making an adjustment. And when that comment was made about making an adjustment as coaches, Michelle understands this as a coach, and so does Orlando, her husband, understand this as a coach. At halftime, they say you make the adjustments. I kind of talked about this when I visited with my guy, Rainier Golightly of the Motor City Popcorn Company, and we had a sit down. He talked about in the second half of life, a lot of people have to make adjustments. You talk about the symbolism of going into the locker room at halftime, figuring out what's going on with your team, figuring out what changes and adjustments you have to make. Shout out to Coach Mel Tucker. He's working on making some adjustments with the Michigan State football program overall, and I appreciate our relationship and what he shares. But here's my point. So many times, Michelle, so many times to those who are watching, we set these goals in our life, personal goals, professional goals, relationship goals, all these goals. And we set these goals and we're so committed because we say, you know what, I'm going to make this happen. We're motivated, we're inspired, we have a moment, and we focus on that. But in some kind of way, as life does all the time, something happens. Something makes us have to step back. Something makes us have to stop. And then so many times when we stop and when something happens, many of us, myself included, we feel like we're failing because we set a goal and we're not able to reach that goal. We feel like we're not living up to the potential that we had, and then we get down on ourselves. We go through this process, many of us, of self-sacrifice. We just really beat ourselves down and say, you know what, because I'm not achieving the goal like I said, I'm just going to punish myself. I'm going to say that part again. Because I'm not achieving a goal like I said, I'm going to punish myself. But what you have to realize, though, in that punishment and that self-sacrifice, it's not really helping anybody. It's not helping you because it puts you in a place of self-deprecation where you're feeling bad about yourself, you're talking bad about yourself, and you're becoming your biggest critic. But I know so many people say, oh, I'm my hardest critic. That's fine. But you have to realize that adjusting your goals is not abandoning your goals. And so many times, because we may set a goal with a timeline that, hey, by January 1st, 2021, I'm going to have this. And for whatever reason, whether it's the coronavirus pandemic, it may be something that happened with shipping, it may be a date that was thrown off, something could be happening, and we're not on track to achieve the goal in the timeline that we set. And then we go into this thing where we say, well, I must be a horrible person because I didn't achieve that. And we just pound on ourselves and almost give up on ourselves. But I have to tell you, adjusting your goal is not abandonment. I want to tell you a quick story that my mother actually shared. about someone who was a guitar player in a at a restaurant or at a local venue, and that's how they provided for themselves. They played the guitar and they would be in a band and do all these things. Well, of course, with the global pandemic, those type of gatherings came to a halt. So this person's income was stopped. They had nothing to do, and they said this person would go on and talk. So what am I going to do? Being uncomfortable is not normal. You're absolutely right. People are very uncomfortable with being uncomfortable. It is not to say that you got to just accept it and just say, I'm just going to be this way, but you have to sometimes step back. And I guess that's why people talk about, well, be careful who you tell your plans to, because we put ourselves out there, or we put ourselves way out there, whether it's through social media or through family and friends. And here's the thing, too. Some people only want to call you on whether you achieve your goal or not because they're trying to motivate you, because they're kind of trying to take a dig at you. Oh, I thought you was going to get this done, man. Or you said you was going to do this. The only people who are not in the arena competing, Michelle, only people who are not willing to be go-getters and people who want to achieve something bigger than what they have will be the ones to say that. And sometimes people don't understand the level of toxicity they bring when they come and talk to you. But you're absolutely right. Being uncomfortable is not normal. But the reality is that when we set these goals, it may not happen the way you want, but it doesn't mean that it still can't happen. You have to be able to accept making an adjustment. And that is not an abandonment of your goal. And if you have people around you who want to argue and challenge you or crack on you because you didn't do what you said you were going to do or whatnot, you have to really look at that relationship and really realize that relationship that's to your best interest. So I just really want to make a point on this Monday motivation. As you go out here and you said that, I look at my life, the things I said I wanted to do, many are happening and many haven't happened in the timeline I wanted. But I had to realize that sometimes when those things don't happen the way you want, it allows you to be able to stay somewhere and focus and be able to spend a little bit more time there. How many of us are really willing to admit that it was better that something didn't happen in the way we wanted to? I know it's tough. But how many of us are really ready to acknowledge that the fact that something didn't happen in the time that you wanted to was actually to your benefit? Success does require failure. And those are words that people don't like to talk about. They like to talk about the success word, Michelle, but they don't want to talk about the failure. But the reality is that many of us have failed our way up, failed our way into success because we were so willing to keep competing and going that we realized that failure was part of it, but it's only a done deal when you stop and when you quit. So going back to, adjusting your goals is not abandoning your goals. If you had a goal to meet something by January 1, 2021, and for whatever reason, natural causes or whatnot, it didn't happen, it does not mean you've given up. You got to adjust. And then who are we, Michelle, as I wrap up with this, who are we to think that we can't adjust? We get so caught up in what these things allow us to do. They allow us to present a perfect picture of our world. Take the picture over and over again. Take it until we get the right angle, the right look. Adjust it till it comes out right. But who are we to really think that we can just go through a life unimpeded where challenges won't come along the way? I talked to Coach Mel Tucker, who's really trying to change the culture of Michigan State football, and I know he's going to do that based on the commitment he has, the wisdom that he brings, and the skill set that he has. I know it's going to happen. But right now, as of today, it's a hard way to go. It's a hard way to go. But it doesn't mean that because he's not hitting the goals that he set, he's abandoned his commitment to be successful. And we've seen it all with Coach Tom Izzo, a Hall of Fame coach, and Mr. March, as they call him, because he's going to always be, in the hunt for a Final Four or national championship. You have to adjust your goals. And when you adjust, it's not giving up. It doesn't mean you don't care anymore. And the last thing I want to say is be careful not to self-sacrifice and say, because I didn't meet that goal, I have to punish myself. Because you want to be available both mentally, physically, and emotionally for what you have to do. But we're coming up on the 10-minute mark. I hope that this can be a positive word to somebody today to help inspire them with this week, help inspire them going forward. I want to thank everybody for supporting SPS. We're going to be full board with Michigan State basketball. I plan to cover every game, those that I can cover in person or those that I'll cover virtually, but you'll be getting the updates. But more importantly, not only the score, but you'll be getting insight on the things that can help you, not only just in sports, but in life. That's right, Michelle. Don't sabotage yourself. But sometimes we need an encouraging word, and I hope that this Monday motivation can be that. So with that, I want to send you guys out to have a great week. Pretty soon we're going to be wrapping up this 2020. It's been a year like no other. And I say if 2020 has been a year like no other, that means 2021 be a year like no other too, as far as all the things you want to achieve and you want to happen can be set in motion. So with that, have a great day. Michelle, again, another happy belated birthday. You got great people around you supporting you, and I appreciate all the support you've given me and SPS. So with that, you guys have a great day, have a great week, and bit by bit, brick by brick, you can do it and you will do it, and I can't wait to see you there when it's done. All right, take care, guys.